Hi, I'm Corey Walmsley, and I sound a little funny today because I have a cold, but I still wanted to interview Melanie. This is Melanie Colusci, and she has a book called From Startup to Success and a business called From Startup to Success. And she helps people who have businesses grow them and just see phenomenal results. I worked with Melanie on her book back when her only business was Bridger Financial, and now she has two. So she published her book, I believe it was last summer, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And since then, she's been coaching people and helping them with their businesses. So we're going to talk a little bit about her book and her book journey. And I'm very excited to share her with you. So, Melanie, do you want to tell us a little bit about your book?
Sure. So it's titled From Startup to Success, Navigating the Journey to Becoming and Staying a Successful Entrepreneur. And it's really, I originally wrote it with the thought of helping women entrepreneurs, although, a lot of what I talk about is definitely applicable to either sex. And, the motivation in writing the book was just having owned my own business and being in business for many years, and just thinking back on all of the struggles that I had as a new business owner and the lessons that I've learned over the past 20 years became the motivation for writing the book. Is if I can help other people not have to make the same mistakes I made.
Yeah, that's very, very important. And one of the things I love that you did with your book was you made it so palatable. Like it's not this great big tome that, people have to take it home and be like, oh my God, I have to read all this and work on my business. It's so like easy to look at it and get actionable steps from it that, you can take home, you can actually do the stuff. And so, I mean, that was something I really enjoyed about that book. So what makes your book different from others in your genre?
Well, when I was doing some research prior to writing the book, I really didn't find many books out there written by a female business owner for other female business owners. And so I thought that made it a little bit different. As women now are owning and running more businesses than they ever have, it was more important to me, I think, to create a space, a safe space for other women business owners. And I know over my past 20 years, there's been times where I've had questions that I wasn't comfortable asking, my male superior, whoever it might have been at the time. And so, for me, that's what makes it different. It's your girlfriend's guide to running your business. And like you said, I wrote it where you could use it as a workbook, highlight in it, rip pages out, do whatever it is that you need to do, but it's really there to help move you forward in your business.
Yeah, and I love that. So what was your experience with writing prior to writing the book?
None, actually. I mean, I had written papers in the past, and I had done different things like that, but nothing to the degree that I was doing now. So, or at the point that I decided I was going to venture into writing a book.
Okay. And I already mentioned that Melanie worked with me as a coach and as an editor on her book. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that experience. What was it like working with a coach? Did you have any friends read chapters? Did you have other people kind of give input on it?
I did. Well, so first I would say definitely I could not have done it without you, uh, because I didn't have experience in writing a book in the past. It was so critical to me to have an expert that I could ask my questions of, or if I was feeling unsure, about the flow, to be able to go to you as my coach in getting some feedback. So I feel and still feel very strongly that having a coach and or an editor keep you on the right path, so to speak, if you're not in the business of writing books on a regular basis, is something that was very valuable to me. I did have other friends read chapters and whatnot of my book, and I was I was using them more as just listening to the flow, listening, if my sequencing made sense and whatnot. So you, though, were definitely the most important person in helping me realize the dream of writing the book.
Oh, thank you. uh, so, so what was the most challenging part of the writing and publishing process then?
Well, for me, the most challenging part was actually procrastination because, um, you know, there is a lot of my story in the book. And so by putting myself out there and being vulnerable, which is hard to do,
Mhm.
I definitely felt myself procrastinating a lot just in order to, I guess, as a protection measure. So to me, that was the most challenging piece. However, I also know about myself that I can't not finish something. And so I knew I was going to finish it, and having you help push me along actually was really good. And as far as the publishing piece, again, because you helped me so much with that, it made it very streamlined and seamless. And, again, relying on somebody who has had experience in the past with publishing made it a much more problem-free process for me.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. So I know the publishing process can be confusing sometimes, and even like if you haven't, in my case, like I help people with that off and on, and if I haven't been to it for a couple months, I go back, it can still be a little confusing for me. So what did you enjoy most about the process of developing your book?
Just, watching the story unfold, and um, I guess in part giving my story as well to the world in order to be hopefully helpful.
Mhm. Okay. And can you talk a little bit about, I know we had looked at two different self-publishing platforms. They were both print on demand. We looked at Ingram Spark and Create Space, which now Create Space is actually rolling over to KDP Direct, something like that. Kindle Direct, I forget what it's called exactly, but Create Space is no longer going to exist. So what made you choose Ingram? Do you remember if there was something that was more appealing about that?
Oh, so that was a while ago that we looked at that. I hadn't thought about that in a while. I think it was more just, it seemed like to me the platform was a little bit easier just to understand.
Okay.
And for me, my personality style is that I really need to understand how a process works before I'm comfortable with it. And so just in the information you had given me ahead of time and looking at the websites themselves, for me, Ingram Spark seemed to be a pretty user-friendly platform. Truthfully, I mean, there really weren't too many differences between the two at the end of the day. And so either of them, I'm sure, are completely fine. But Ingram Spark 10 was the one that I ultimately went with. Just felt like it was a little bit more user-friendly for me.
Okay. And since you published your book, what's been your experience with marketing? And have there been methods that I have a special guest now? It's my daughter, London. Have there been methods that you found to be more beneficial than others with your marketing?
With marketing, so I do offer it on Amazon, and I offer it on e-readers and Kindle and whatnot. And then I do have it available through my website. So you want to make sure that you definitely have the social platforms and digital platforms available for marketing your book. Truthfully, for me, the best has been actually just talking about it with people as I meet them, because a lot of times either they are wanting to start a business or are in business in their first few years, or they know somebody who does. And at the price point that I set the book, it's still cost effective good first, lesson book in running your business.
Okay. Yeah, and I agree with you. I think the price point is like perfect. So do you plan on writing more books?
I've been asked that question. I want to write more books, but with launching the other business, I've been really busy developing and rolling all of that out to the vision that I have for it. So I actually just wrote down yesterday a title of another book that I want to write. So I'm toiling with that question right now, and am more than likely going to start something in the 2019 range. But as you know, I have my video series that I need to finish and get out to, and that will take priority over another book.
Okay. So last question, what would you tell someone who wants to start writing?
Oh, just start. Don't make excuses. Don't let fear of being vulnerable or procrastination get in the way. That we all have amazing stories to tell, and so there's no reason to not tell our story.
Awesome. So is there anything else that you wanted to cover that we didn't cover? Talking about your book, talking about From Startup to Success, the business?
Yeah, so from startup to success, we have a lot of really fun new things that we're rolling out. If you're local in the Pittsburgh area, we have a mastermind group for women entrepreneurs, which I'm really excited to be running. And, just I'm here to help take your business to the next level. If you need someone to give you that little extra push because you're having some challenges accomplishing a goal that you need to accomplish, or if you're not even sure where to start, I can help you create the roadmap to get there. So happy to help however we can.
Fantastic. So thank you so much for sharing your story with us and talking about your book. I'm so thrilled that we got to finally talk. I have a monkey on my shoulder. Finally got to talk about your book, and you'll be speaking at Author Luminary coming up November 3rd. So I did want to mention that. Melanie will join me and Katie Mazzocco at that event, and we'll be talking more about how to use books for your business, and I'm really, really excited about it. I think it's going to be a fantastic opportunity to get some great information for your business and also help out a charity, the Global Sisterhood. So if you're interested in Melanie's book, if you're interested in Melanie's book, I will put the link below in the blog post so you can visit her website. And is it from startuptosuccess.com?
Yep.
All right, I'll put the link there and you can check it out. It is a fantastic book, and I'm not just saying that because I worked on it. It really is helpful. I've actually let a couple of my friends borrow it so they can check it out too. So again, thank you so much, Melanie. And if you have questions about writing a good book, be sure to get in contact with me. Thank you.
Thanks, Corey.